I was going to say before you pointed that out that it's really self-fulfilling. Like the intern who's on edge, who's dropping the paper, is then going to make certain behaviors which are going to kind of reinforce their insecurity and low status, which is then might be pointed out. They might notice it themselves, which makes them feel shit again, which makes them more on edge and twitchy, which is going to increase the probability that they conduct some kind of behavior, and it's this downward spiral where you're like, you feel stuck at the bottom of that. And you're saying that by influencing the things you've described, moving a bit slower, being expansive with your body, you can start to trigger the loop from the other way. You can start to make yourself feel safe. If you feel safe, you're more likely to do the higher value things, which make you feel safe, and you spiral upwards potentially.
Yes. Yeah. This is not an insight unique to me. Tony Robbins, when at his events, I don't know if you've gone, they talk about incantations, where one of the things that he does is prior to going on stage, and he advises people to do this before they have a big moment, is he will like bang his chest and go, hoo, 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 in his Tony Robbins way. And he'll have oftentimes a phrase that is like, I'm here to inspire, or like, I love myself, I feel wonderful. And I would do this before I went out, right? Before I got in the taxi, before I went anywhere, I would go, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. And I would just build this physical body energy connection. And it's real. It happens. It makes a dramatic impact on how you show up, because oftentimes you only get 30 seconds, right? It's not a lot of time when you're sitting down in that interview before the person starts to form an opinion about you. So going in with that energy that is like, look, I approve of me, and I'm going to have the body language communication that tells you that that's how I feel. People often pick up on that. You can think of interactions as two people who are storms of beliefs encountering one another. And if my storm of belief is, I'm not really sure about this, I don't really think I deserve this job, and you probably shouldn't talk to me. And your storm of belief is, I don't know a lot about this guy, but let's find out. I'm going to win. And you're going to pick that up, and you're going to, I don't think this guy deserves the job, whatever. But if the belief is, I deserve to be here, I love myself, I can be comfortable, I can be human, and I'll be okay if this doesn't go the way that I'd like, that's what wins out in these. It is the higher conviction belief that often bleeds through in interaction and becomes the one that defines that relationship, at least for that limited time in that context.
It's funny because I think about my nonverbal cues all the time. I meet so many people in so many different contexts, and a lot of the time I'm like tired, and my head has a million tabs open. So I try and influence like how I'm showing up with like my body language and eye contact. And outside of the things we've discussed, is there anything else that you think I can do to try and leave? I don't want to be rude. That's what I don't want to be. I was going to say I want to be warm, but there's something, I want to be myself, and I don't want to be rude, accidentally rude.
So you worry that you might come across
sometimes,
as accidentally rude?
Yeah, because I don't know, you meet people, like my assistant Sophie, she walked in here now, hiya! She's just got like that like 24/7 energy, and I ain't got that.
Yeah.
I'm not that guy. And I'm not gonna fake it. And I've never been good at faking it. But is there anything else that I could accidentally be making people dislike me, just with small things?
No, I can say the areas where I've felt most connected to you, which is I think the opposite of rude. Rude is like, I'm not interested in you as a person. The areas where I've felt most connected to you is where one of us, again, went there first and like said the thing that was real. It's the moments where you stop, neither of us is trying to perform at all for the camera, and there's still a sense of the audience is there, but yeah, that's where I feel any rudeness is, no, gone.
Interesting. And when you say that, I think about like everyday interactions. And is there ever a situation where like going there first is a little bit too strong?
Try it, is what I would say. So the thought is the one that you have, everyone has, right? It's no, I can't. Because if they didn't have that thought, they would have already done it, right? I will tell you a brief story that my brother reminded me of today as we were driving in. I was like, I need my charisma stories. And he said, you can tell the one about me. So
your brother who's in the green room?
Yeah.
Okay.
We went to a networking event, and for whatever reason that day, I was just in this zone of I'm going to be a professional because this is a networking event, and the channel wasn't established at this point, and he came with me. And so I'm going in there, and I'm going through the line, I'm filling out my card. What's your name? Charlie. what do you do? Okay, I'm getting my information. I put my badge on, I walk through, and he goes behind me, and they say, what's your name? He says, Dragon. And she says, excuse me? I said, no, write Dragon on the card. It's going to be great. And so he then starts a conversation with her, and they're like just being playful. And then he puts Dragon on his chest. And I'm going in trying to impress people with my professionalism. Mm-hmm. And people are like, what's up? He's like, Dragon here. And he was a hit, right? He didn't have anything to do with the networking event. He didn't have anything to do with the context of why people were there. But the interest that he got was so much immediately more than I was getting, being the one that actually had the business that was somewhat related to the thing. And so even I believe that these rules on how we should engage are set in stone. And what I think few people have done, if you think of your entire life, you're either hitting it perfect, undershooting, or overshooting. Everyone's fears of overshooting, but they spend almost all of their lives undershooting.
Overshooting is in coming on too strong.
Yeah, and that it's okay, but like there's type 1 and type 2 errors, right? And if there's a perfect middle ground of like, wow, like that was a trauma dump on that person would be an overshare, or like, ooh, I maybe shouldn't crack that joke at a funeral would be going there first type of a thing. We have less than a dozen of those usually in our life, and we have hundreds and thousands of undershooting. So what I'm encouraging people to do is take the risk of the overshoot, because you're already missing. Like you're under what is available to you in terms of the potential to create connections. And the question here is, which I think informs all of this, is your goal to blend in, get through, and not make a splash? Or is your goal, what is your goal? And for me, it's like, I want to connect. I want to connect with the people that would most connect with me. And in order to do that, I have to be willing to be seen.
Okay, so on the other end of this, what are the mistakes people make that cause disconnection? Talking about yourself, is that?
I don't think so. In what sense?
So like if you walk into a room and you immediately start talking about yourself, is that going to be, if you're over talking?
Good question. It's about, do people have opt-in points? So are you stopping and giving the person a chance to re-opt into that line of communication? So this is, again, one of the things we work on those initial questions is, okay, you want to share your values early in the interaction, but am I just going to give you my life story, right? I'm not giving someone a chance to opt in. But if I make it 3 to 5 sentences and I say, I grew up on the West Coast, and it was perfect because there was surf everywhere. And then I met my wife, but she's super close to her family, and I just wanted to be a family man. So now I live in the middle of the country, and whatever. You give like 3 hooks that people can hook into, and then you're done. That's fine. But some people don't give a chance for anyone to step in and get a word in edgewise. So that's another piece that I think.
And I could also ask them, right, if they surf or something.
Yes, exactly. But also, you will see that sometimes early in an interaction, if you indicate these points of, like, people will often comment on what you have to say. You don't need to ask them necessarily. Like if you give that thing that they like, you often don't have to, like, they will jump in with the thing that connects to it.
So interesting. Throughout this conversation, you've repeatedly made reference to the fact that connection happens at a deeper level, but also the paradox is that we don't walk around offering the deeper level. Which is what I've always figured out and like found out on this podcast is the deeper the conversation, the more I feel like connected to the person.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really interesting. I was just thinking about interactions that I've even had today, and like the person that I spoke to in the gym, what I've rolled up to them and what could I have said to them that would have been got us past the fluffy small talk. Because I met someone in the gym that I've known loosely known.
Yeah.
And it was one of those interactions where they go, hey, how are you? You're in LA now? Hey, yeah. Where are you going to live? I'm like, I don't know. And then like, so yeah, fires. Are you okay? Yeah. And I just...
So let's do this. Where are you going to live? I think I even probably asked you, or
everyone's asking me because I've posted on Instagram.
Yeah. Take a person in the gym. You don't know anything about them. And I know context, it's going to be dependent on what you want to learn about them. What types of things do you wish you could connect over more? And I know there's this sense of like whatever they want, but like you clearly care about business. You clearly care, like what opportunities do you want to open up for yourself? Do you want to find a surf buddy? Do you want to find what is it?
Yeah, so in that particular conversation, I think because I'm kind of new here, maybe what I would have been interested in is I actually really wanted to know something about their professional life that they told me about previously. But also, I'm like looking for friends here.
Yeah.
Cool things to do, people to see, new networks.
Amazing. You got it. So it's where are you going to live? Be like, honestly, I'm not sure. I'm looking for cool places to live, cool places to go, new networks of people.
I should have fucking said that.
Yeah, and it's so I think it's what we mentioned earlier. But the thing that happens is that people try to get through rather than connect.
Interesting.
And I think that informs a lot of the questions that people have. They say, yeah, but couldn't it go wrong? It's like, yes, it could, but you have to consider that not connecting is also it going wrong. Like the number of chances that you meet to connect with your potential spouse, a potential incredible friend. I don't want to be nightmarish or scary for people, but like the amount of incredible people that have walked in and out of all of our lives is saddening, right?
It is, yeah.
Because we didn't say the thing, and it's like, oh my gosh, you guys would have connected so well if just one of you could have like put it out there, the thing that you were interested in. But it just doesn't happen 99% of the time.